Dear friend, think. Reflect on the world that you carry within yourself. Name this thinking what you wish. It might be recollections of your childhood or yearning for your own future. Just be sure that you observe carefully what wells up within you and place that above everything that you notice. Your innermost happening is worth all your love. You must somehow work with that. Just be sure that you observe carefully what wells up within you and place that above everything else that you notice. Your innermost happening is worth all your love. You must somehow work with that.
Okay, I'm going to start the Qigong today by just answering a couple of questions. Some of you have asked about finding a Qigong teacher. I will send some information around in the email that you'll receive by next week about that. But also, I've had a couple of other questions. Kerry was asking about why metal affects our Qi. And just briefly, it affects our subtle bodies. So we have to be careful. Some people are more affected than others, but it's because we're working with the Qi, which is around the subtle body. And so we don't want any interference with that if we can help it. There's a lot more information on that, and I can send some out. And also, Fanula asked me if I could do things in reverse so that there could be a mirror image. Well, really, it doesn't matter. So if you like to just copy me in reverse, that's fine. It doesn't really matter which way around we do it, at least not at this point. So today we're going to focus much more on the lower dantian. So there'll be some rather different exercises. Some the same, some different. If you'd like to take your places, we'll start. So find your place in the room. Feet, shoulders width apart. Feel your feet flat on the ground. Feel them widening and softening and melting into the earth. Remember those roots that go deep into the earth. And check your knees, that they're soft, that they're slightly bent, tail tucked in. Hanging from a hook in the sky. Your shoulders are soft and there's a bit of space in your armpits. And your fingers are pointing to the earth. And just stand a moment, take your attention in, and just see how your body is today around that central line, that lovely golden thread that runs through your body in front of the spine and down between your legs. Just take a moment to orientate to that center line. Just noticing how you are, not changing anything, just becoming aware. And then just bring your hands up in front of you and make the chi ball. And just see how that chi ball is now. You just feel between the palms of your hands. And you expand and contract. Just getting a sense of it today. And then we're going to go into the breath, because that's a way of powering up the chi. We power it up with image and breath. So we breathe as we have done before, up the spine, breathing in up the spine to the top of the head, and then letting the breath fall down the center of the body into the pelvic bowl. And as you breathe in up the spine, you just squeeze at the base of the spine. Take the energy up your back and down the front. Remember to make that magpie bridge, which just joins the meridians up. So your tongue just behind your teeth. Breathe a couple of times. And then in your own time, you just bring your arms up. We're going to tap the meridians like we did last week and the week before. So a nice loose fist with one hand. It doesn't matter which way we start. And we'll start by tapping under the arm, around and down the inside of the arm. A nice loose fist. And you're not banging, you're just tapping and waking up the meridian. Then we come up and back on the arm, outside of the shoulder, onto the neck, and up onto the face. And then we take our arms down and we do it on the other side. We start under the arm, around, onto the shoulder, down the inside of the arm, to the end of the fingers where the energy changes to yang, up the outside of the arm and the outside of the shoulder, onto the neck, and up onto the face. And then we repeat that once more. So under the shoulder, under the armpit, up onto the shoulder, down the inside of the arm, to the end, to the fingers, turn the hand over, come along the outside of the arm, outside of the shoulder, onto the neck, and onto the face, very gently. And then we repeat on the other side. Under the arm, onto the shoulder, down the arm, up the outside of the arm, outside of the shoulder, and onto the neck. And then we take our middle fingers and we wash the face very gently, massage by the nose, up to the inside of the bridge of the nose, and up to the hairline. And then bring the whole hand down over the face. Oh. And once more. Up to the shoulder, to the hairline, and down. Oh. So we're just waking up the meridians of the body. Okay. And now we're going to come to this lower dantian. This is our center, physical center of gravity. And we've looked at the upper dantian last week, and we've looked a little bit at the third eye center, and now we're coming down to the base here. And it's from here that the energy from all our movements really comes. This is the base of the vas, if you like, the alchemical vas. So, first of all, take your feet wider apart. And we're going to bend down. So your hands are just going to slide down your thighs onto the knees. And there's no pressure on your knees. They're just resting there. And we come down and then we move to one side and we twist round to the back as we stand up. So you breathe in and we do it on the other side. We go down as we breathe out. And in as we come up on the other side. Come back to the center, down, twist to the side as you come up, back to the center. Just twist to come down, and twist to the other side. So you're massaging all the fascia of your body. But also the movement is coming from your base chakra, your lower dantian. Sorry, it's a dantian. And just let that be a lovely, smooth movement up and down. One more, and then come back to the center. And bring your feet back to shoulders width apart, standing with your knees soft. We're just now going to do a little twist from the waist. So the hips stay facing forward, and just the waist is going to move. So if I just stand and move my waist, just a little movement, and my hands are loose by my side. Just little movements which can slowly get bigger. And the hands just swing with that movement from the waist. It's a lovely twist. And you might find that it affects your breathing as it massages the diaphragm and it massages the lower dantian and all the abdominal organs. If that movement gets bigger, the arms will flop around the body, but you don't move the legs. Don't do this. You just go as far as you can go without the knees collapsing. And now, once again, make a very light fist, and this time bring the arms in. So you're just letting the arms come to the front of the back. You're not banging, you're just letting them come in onto the body. You're powering up the chi in the lower dantian. And at the back, your hand is touching the gate of life acupuncture point, or the Ming Men. And then slowly let that come to an end. And then turn one foot out and put the other foot in front. And we're going to scoot the sea like we did last week. So we go down, we pick up the water, raise it to the sky and let it fall over us. Now, as you do this movement, let the movement be issued from the lower dantian. So even if we're doing movements in the air, the movement is still being issued from the lower dantian. So you're breathing in as you go down and out as you come up. And change feet. In as you pick up water and out as you let it fall all over you. Lovely chi bath. And just change feet again, and this time bring your hands up in front of you and open as you go back. You're a dove opening her wings. Breathe in and out as you expand. And breathe in and out as you expand with this beautiful, fluid, lyrical movement. And then change feet and repeat. And just put your feet back together and just feel the energy between your hands now. Again, play with that chi. What does it feel like now between your hands? Is it the same? Is it different? Just see what you can sense. And just align yourself again around that center line. You're now, all those 3 dantians should be in line. When they're in line, it helps the endocrine system and it helps our immune system. And the movement that we've been working with comes from inside. It helps us to feel embodied, to feel centered, grounded, have a sense of gravity in our being. And it's from there that our movement issues forth out into the world. And also there's an environment around us that can feed us and we can take that in. So we have that inner and outer experience. And now we'll just bring that to a close. So let your hands just come up the center line, turn over, and we'll push down to earth. We'll take the hands, and bring the energy up the center line, turn the hands over, and push down to earth. And just take a moment to see where you are now and then move to the artwork. Bringing that energy onto paper. And go back to your art.
So again, bringing this piece to just to let yourself know that we're moving on. And you may want to continue to work on this while we continue in the group. And that helps you to stay connected with your own process. And maybe as you just take a moment to lift your head out of the work and orient yourself in your room, aware of yourself, where you're sitting, your surroundings. So we have lots going on. We have that inner world that's drawing us onto the page. We've got the screen that's attracting us and where the conversation is happening. But there's also your physical world that's supporting you, where you're present to. And orienting to that, we can use that as a support for our own systems. It's that orienting that we've been doing, just allowing your eyes to take a wander and see what's catching their attention right now. Engaging with it for a little bit. What's caught your attention? What is it you're noticing when you look at what it is that has caught your attention? Give it just that moment of your attention. And as you pay attention to it and describe it to yourself, begin to notice what's mattering to you, what's happening in your matter, in your innermost self, Rilke's world, what's upwelling in you in response. What's your resonance with what's happening? And so bringing yourself back to look at your image from that place of connection. And see if there's a word now that comes to you as you look at the image. It doesn't have to be interpretation. It can just be a response, but from that languaging part of the brain. Sometimes it may be a little string of words. It's quite something when we're journaling and we have an image like that, just to write a few words after the image. It's like Jung says, in that engagement with image and taking it onto the 3D, we're moving the energy on. It continues to dream us, we could say, if we're talking about a dream. It amplifies the energy, just as we're doing in the Qigong exercise that help us to be in touch with the energy. So too in the drawing and in the writing a word with it, we're amplifying the experience, and then we're picking up what our resonance is with that experience. And just for a few minutes today, I wanted to go back over a little bit something about the word felt sense. So when I ask you to, what's the resonance, or what do you notice in your body, or what's happening, I'm coming from that place about curiosity around felt sense. And felt sense is much more than sensation, Gendelin says. It's an experience of ourselves. And we can come to that experience by paying attention to what is in our innermost self. Stephen Porges, who writes about the polyvagal theory, describes the word interoception, where we bring that attention inward. We're linking up parts of the brain that are very often focused on the outside, and we're paying attention to what happens on the inside. And that inner attunement helps to bring much greater alignment. Wendy was talking about alignment through the Qigong work, so too with interoception. Paying attention to what's happening inside brings great alignment and greater coherence within ourselves. It helps us in a way to find sort of a secure base, we could say, because we begin to find where our ground is. It's in our experiencing, living body, the felt sense. Eugene Gendlin was really the father, you could say, of this word felt sense. He was very influenced by Merleau-Ponty, who's the phenomenologist. Again, a lover of the phenomenology of experience. And one of his simple descriptions, I find, that where he's talking about how we sense things and how we sense each other. It's like we are in a field affecting each other all the time. And as I become aware of my own active field, then I'm much more in tune with the other, whoever the other is. In fact, in the neuroscience, they say that about 9 of the 10 circuits of external attunement are active in internal attunement. So by practicing internal attunement, interoception, we become much more refined in our capacity to attune to others and to the situation. Gendelin's words, it's not the case that you have only your perception of me and that our perceptions of each other are what are between us. Rather, he says, we affect each other. We affect each other bodily and situationally. We are affected body to body, whether we sense it or not. My warmth or hostility will affect your ongoing bodily being, whether you perceive it or not. You may find it there if you sense how your body is in the situation. In fact, he likes to use the word how your body has the situation, how your body is resonant with the situation. So it's a whole felt sense of an experience of being alive, whether we're alive or not. When we tune ourselves and when we really heighten our experience of a felt sense, it brings us into a wonderful sense of alignment. And in my work, I like to think that this is the essence of building a core sense of self. Psychologically, we often use that term, but we rarely think of it as an embodied experience. And in my experience with attachment work and early infant development, and particularly of taking that then into Marion Woodman's work, I really feel that the experience of being connected to one's felt sense in the body is a tremendous key to grounding our experience, to having a secure base in myself. It's not that attachment is, I'll be healed in relation to the attachment to other. By working on that, I'm healed by working on the felt sense of building a secure base in my embodied self. So it's a shift of emphasis. And when I have a greater sense of that, I then have greater capacity for attunement to the other and capacity to be in relationship to the other. And the felt sense really is what we've been talking about all the time when we say, what do you notice is happening in the body? What do you notice happens when you engage? If you go back to this object that you looked at a few minutes ago, just take a couple of minutes to look outward at your object and see it again. And this time, notice what calls you, what's drawing your attention now. Something in this is catching your eye and may be different to earlier. Allow yourself the enjoyment of engaging with it, what it is you're noticing now. And as you do so, see if you notice any little difference. We talked last time about the just noticeable difference. Any little difference in your being as you're looking at it. Does anything inside resonate differently? How is this conversation having you now, as Gwendolen would say. The situation has us. How has it? How has the situation affected us now? You may notice greater breath or ease in your shoulders. Or you can sit back and lean into your chair a bit more. Your eyes are softening a little bit. Whatever the engagement, the effect of the engagement, the other affects us, whether it's material other or human being or animal or nature. We are affected by other and we affect other.